You know that feeling when someone asks you, how are you doing? And you just say, I'm fine. But inside you, you are screaming. That moment when you're surrounded by people but feel completely invisible. When you accomplish something that should make you proud, but all you feel is nothing. If you just nodded your head, then this video is for you. Today in our depression and healing series, I will be talking about what depression actually feels like. Not the textbook version or any other version you know, but the real raw experiences that people never discuss openly. Stay with me because what I'm about to share might just help you understand yourself or someone you love in a completely different way. Get real about depression. So you wake up in the morning and before your feet even hit the floor, you're already tired. Not the type of tiredness that sleep would fix, but this is a bone deep exhaustion that sits in your chest like a heavy stone. People don't understand this type of tiredness. They see you going through the motions of your day, maybe even excelling at work or at school, and they think you're just fine. But what they don't see is how much energy it takes for you to just pretend to be okay. Every smile feels rehearsed. Every I am good, thank you feels like you're speaking in a foreign language. You know, this type of exhaustion isn't laziness. It's your brain working overtime just to function. Think of it like you're trying to run a marathon while carrying a backpack full of rocks. That is what everyday tasks feels like when you are depressed. That is something people rarely talk about sometimes. Depression isn't about feeling sad. Sometimes it's about feeling absolutely nothing at all. You might be watching a funny movie and you think this should actually make me laugh, but all you feel inside is just silence. Your friend shares an exciting news and you know you should be happy for them, but the emotion isn't just there. You might even feel guilty about not feeling at all. And this creates a weird cycle of numbness followed by shame. This emotional flatness can be more disturbing than sadness because at least when you're sad, you're feeling something. But when you're numb, it looks like you're watching your life through a transparent glass where you see everything happening, but you can't actually touch or be touched by it. Actually, depression has a body and that body is heavy. Your limbs might just feel like they make concrete out of them. Simple tasks like combing your hair, taking a shower, making breakfast can feel monumentally difficult. Not because you don't know how to do them, but because your body feels like it's going through a thick mud. You might experience what I call phantom pain. These are headaches that won't go away, muscle tension that seems to have no source, or a tightness in your chest that makes breathing feel like a hard work. Your body is trying to tell you something and it's the only language it knows, which is physical sensation. Some of you might find yourself sleeping too much, not because you're lazy, but because it's the only time you get your mind to be quiet. Others might struggle with insomnia, like lying awake with thoughts that won't stop spinning. Some of you might have felt like your brain is wrapped in a cotton, like thoughts that used to come easily now feel impossible to grasp. This is what we call cognitive fog, and it's one of the most frustrating aspects of depression. You might find yourself reading the same paragraph over and over and unable to absorb the information. Sometimes making decisions, even little ones like what to wear or what to eat, becomes overwhelming because your brain just can't process options the way it used to be. Memory becomes unreliable. You forget appointments. You lose track of conversations. Sometimes you might forget some information when someone asks you, did you lock the door? You won't be able to process if you actually locked the door. This is not an early onset dementia. It's actually your depressed brain struggling to allocate resources to basic cognitive functioning. Even when you're physically present with others, depression can make you feel like you are behind an invisible wall. Conversations may feel forced. Social situations that you used to enjoy now feels like a performance art. In most circumstances, you find yourself playing the role of yourself, but you're not really there. You are actually not present. You might start avoiding social invitations, not because you don't care about people, but because the effort required to be normal feels impossible. When friends reach out to you, you actually want to respond, but the words just won't come out. You start to feel like a burden. You begin to isolate yourself, which makes depression even more worse. The cruel irony about this whole thing is that when we need connection the most, depression makes it hardest to reach for it. Inner voice becomes the hard shit critics. That is a voice that will always tell you that you're weak, you're struggling, that you have it all worse, others are better than you. Sometimes you might feel guilty for having depression in the first place, especially if your life looks good on paper. When I mean on paper, I mean you have a job, you have a home, you have people who care about you. And this might keep telling you, why are you not grateful? Why can't you just be happy? This guilt becomes another layer of depression, creating shame about feeling depressed, which makes you feel worse, which creates more guilt, and this is totally exhausting. Perhaps one of the most frightening aspects of depression is how it steals your ability to imagine a better future. Hope requires the ability to envision change, but depression will always convince you that how you feel right now is how you will always feel. You might stop making plans because you can't imagine feeling well enough to follow through. Many of you have become experts at hiding depression. You've learned exactly how to smile, you've rehearsed it, you've learned what to say to people when they ask you, how are you doing? You've also rehearsed how to laugh at the right moments. This mask becomes so convincing that sometimes even you forget it's there. But maintaining this package is exhausting. You're essentially living two lives. The one everyone sees in the open and the one you experience internally. You know, the gap between these two realities can feel impossibly wide. I want you to understand that everything I just described right now is real and your experience is valid. Depression isn't a character flaw or a sign of weakness. It's a medical condition that affects your brain, your chemistry, your nervous system, and your entire experience of being alive. When we understand what depression actually feels like, we can stop fighting against ourselves and start working with our reality. Recovery becomes possible when we stop pretending we are fine and start addressing what's actually happening to us. So today, if you recognize yourself in what I just shared today, please know that you're not alone. These feelings can be overwhelming as they are, and they are not permanent. Your brain has the capacity to heal, and there are evidence-based treatment that can help you feel like yourself again. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these hidden signs of depression resonated most with your experience? Share in the comments below. Your story might just be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. And if this video helped you understand yourself or someone you love a little better, please hit that like button. It tells YouTube to share this content with other people who might need to hear it. And if you're ready to continue this journey of understanding depression and healing, subscribe to my channel and turn on those notification bells every Saturday. I release new content and I don't want you to miss what's coming next. Remember, seeking help isn't giving up. It's the bravest thing you can do. You deserve support, you deserve understanding, and you deserve to feel better. I'll see you next Saturday in my next video. Until then, be gentle on yourself.